Everybody, Rich with Prep U. This is going to be an interesting video. A lot of people that ask, there's a lot of you subscribers that also come to the range, and you've seen the different stuff that I do at the range and what I'm responsible for. Most of you think that he's just a range safety officer, up and down, sweeping brass that people don't, emptying the garbage, making sure people don't shoot each other, stuff like that. But what you don't realize is how much instruction that goes on. And what I wanted to kind of do is give you an idea of what I deal with every day in the range and the kind of strangeness that you're going to go, seriously? That's what you have to worry about? But we're going to do a little role play here. Actually, I'm going to get all of you involved in what I'm doing here. This is kind of a mock-up kind of range kind of thing. I'd be like, this is, the target that's what you've just already hung up. It's going to be sent down the range. I tried to do this at our range, but there's just no good time for me to shoot it there. And it's obviously when it's an active range, it's too noisy to do this there. Although, well, you might have to wear hearing protection when you watch the video. That would kind of suck, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would really suck. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the role play of, I'll be the RSO. You guys and gals are going to be the new shooters. This is in, you have an active way of getting involved in this. You can probably watch this video several times and change your answers. And my answers won't change, or the things that I'm saying won't change. But I'm going to give the typical answer that I give to the typical person that has come into the range, maybe for the first, second time, or maybe have never touched a handgun in their entire life, okay? In the state of Illinois, as you all know, you have to have a FOID card to be able, if you're an Illinois resident, you have to have a FOID card to be able to shoot in our range. If you're not a resident of Illinois, you don't need a FOID card. Obviously, if your state doesn't give you a FOID card, you won't have a FOID card. But then you can rent and you can purchase ammunition, but you can't leave the store with that ammunition. And obviously you're renting, so you're not going to leave the store with that firearm. But this is what I run into. And this is a great video to show people that have never been to the range before, or maybe their first time. I was going to try to make this more realistic. I was going to wear, eye protection, hearing protection, but I figured, nah, that's too corny, so we're just going to do this as if you're a new shooter. All right, so I'm gonna walk out of the frame and come back in and show you what I deal with on a daily basis. Hey, how are you? Welcome to the range. What's going on? Oh, you're new? Okay. Couple questions. Have you ever fired a pistol or firearm before? No. Okay. Have you ever handled one? Have you ever picked one up? Ever loaded anything? No. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And that's why you're here. And I'm more than happy to help. Believe me, more than happy to help you guys. Since this is an active range and I'm the RSO, I have to walk back and forth. I can probably only give you like 5 or 10 minutes of my time, but we'll get you going. And I'm here the whole time. If you have any questions about anything, just grab me, okay? And we'll get you figured out. So what did you guys choose from the range? Okay. All right, so you chose the Shield 9, the original. Okay, excellent. And this is a compact. And you chose it because you're taking the concealed carry class next weekend here. When did you get your FOID card? You just got it in the mail. Okay, all right, fine. Well, I'm glad you're here, and you should come back 2 or 3 more times, all right? You should also, today, trade this out in our range. Try a full-size 9. You could try a 380 if this is too powerful for you. Remember, with a firearm, the heavier the firearm, the less reaction you're going to get. So if it's too much to handle, I would trade this back in and get something, get a full-size M&P. Glock's really popular. We have a couple CZs. There's all kinds out there. And that's what I suggest before you put, $600 to $800 or over $1,000 into a firearm, I would definitely try a few. Okay. First question: right-handed or left-handed? All right. Okay. So you're both right-handed. Okay. Cool. Do you know which eye is dominant? Okay. Basically, here, what I want you to do: make the triangle. Okay. I want you to look through the triangle, and I want you to close your right eye and close your left eye. All right. One of those eyes, everything in that triangle is going to move on you. When you close the other eye, it may not. All right. Both right eyes? Okay, great. You're both right-handed. You're both right eye dominant. You're good. I'm not. I'm cross-eyed. I'm left eye dominant, but I mostly shoot right-handed. But I shoot both ways. So it's part of the job here. You know, you learn both ways. So you're both right-handed. So let me grab the shield. As you can tell, when I rotated, the firearm always stayed downrange. All right, we always keep it downrange. It's just easier that way. All right, so when you purchase it, we always put a chamber flag in. You wondered what that was. Yeah, it's a chamber flag, and what that tells me is there are no rounds in the chamber. All right, so it's safe to do whatever, but you, me, everybody should always consider a firearm loaded at all times. I know even like this, it's not. Magazine is empty when it comes from the range counter. I know that, you know that, but if you do it now, you will do it always, and that's pretty key. So I'm going to do some stuff this way, but some stuff the other way because I don't want to have my back to you and turn around looking at you. Okay, so this is the firearm. I want to go over some of the features with it. There is a magazine. It's not a clip. It's a magazine. Locks in the bottom. There's a little button right here. That's your magazine release. That's going to release your magazine. All right, several things. This is your slide lock. All right, this is, we're going to lock it back. That's how you're going to get the chamber flag out. All right, cool. So chamber flag's out. This is your slide lock. This is your safety. Not all firearms have external safeties. Some have thumb safeties. Some are on both sides. All right. Glock is a perfect example. Let me turn around. If you choose to rent a Glock, which I suggest you choose, rent them all. Doesn't cost you any more money here. It's all internal safeties. It's trigger safeties. It's drop safeties and stuff like this. This has an external safety. Some have safeties on both sides. That would be, and I always say this word wrong, so ambidextrous. I think that's how you say it. On both sides, because if you're right-handed, you want to have the safety that you can reach, okay, with your thumb. All right. If you're left-handed, you want it on the opposite side. Also, the shells are not going to go towards you. They're going to go away from you after it cycles. Also, there's a third button, kind of a switch right here. That's for cleaning. Don't worry about that right now. I'm going to kind of jump back and forth with you a little bit because I want to show you a few things. You notice how the slide is locked back right now? That's going to happen. It's going to auto lock back after your last round from your magazine. Okay, your magazine will stay in there. And that's a good thing. Okay, so let's leave it like that. All right, so you've never shot, you've never loaded. Okay, so here's your magazine. You bought a box of 50. Cool. Let me get these out. Let me show you. So to load it, you can see how it's kind of angled. All right. And then there's a little slide right there. Hold on one second. Stop. No. Best laid plans of mice and men. So anyhow, so this is your magazine. Here's the bullet. There are two little ledges right here, okay? And that's what holds the bullet in. Basically, you're going to go halfway, push it in, slide it back. There's another one, halfway. You can help assist it, push it down, and slide it in. But if you're going to shoot a lot, the best $40 you'll ever spend shooting, and I don't care who you use. I just happen to use the Uplulu loader. It's going to save your thumb, going to save your time. All right, it's very easy to use. You just, squeeze it, push it down. That pushes down the bullet. You drop the next bullet in, pick it up, and away you go. All right. So I always keep this with me. I'll just leave it here. We'll go over that in a second. And you can use it while you're here. That's what I hold on to it for. So then you've got a loaded magazine. Okay, for demonstration purposes, I'm pulling it back out. And you know why. All right. So then you would have the full magazine, and it goes in. Okay. Now, there's two ways, and since it's an empty magazine, I have to get rid of it to do it. There's two ways to chamber around. All right, see the serrations back here? You have serrations there. You also have the slide lock. You could just, if I can find it, push the slide lock down, and it's going to chamber around, and you're good to go. Or you can pull back on the serrations. There's several different ways of doing it. You can pull straight back like this, and it's good to go. Some people that have some grip issues like to do palm, fingers, and let it go. Since you haven't shot before, what's really important about any type of firearm, and this includes rifles also, you don't want to slowly let it go back. You don't want to do that because it doesn't chamber around properly. All it's going to do is end up jamming and not operating. When you do this, you just want, you hear that click and go forward. Just let it slide forward. Just let it, you're going to push with one hand, pull back with the other till you hear the click, and let it go. All right, couple of things. Now, this is the important stuff to talk to you about, all right? When you grip the firearm, you want to make sure your firearm is all the way up. You don't want it down like this. You're not going to be able to control the firearm. There's a little ducktail or groove for a reason. It's to get your hand up and in, all right? Your finger never goes on the trigger until you're ready to shoot, okay? Finger never goes on the trigger till you're ready to shoot. All right, next. I don't care where you put this hand other than not crossing your thumbs. Because remember, this slide comes back every time the round goes through. You want your thumb off to the side. Some people cup it a little bit. Some people come up a little bit and just hold it. I like to have my thumb of my control hand on the firearm. Some people put them under for whatever reason. It's fine as long as you control your firearm properly. I just like to have total control. I also like to have this hand free, and that's a concealed carry self-defense reason, okay? As you notice, I'm still pointing the firearm down range, and that's where you will always want your firearm, down range. All right, sighting. Sighting is really important. You need to bring your firearm up to your eye level, all right? Not down here. Bring your head down. It's gonna have problems breathing. You're gonna cut off your breathing. Bring your firearm up to your eye level. Your front sight goes on where you want to hit. Do you want to hit at the X, the 9, the 8? Do you want headshots? I suggest center mass. Okay. Just because if you're shooting higher up here, you may be shooting too high and you're going off the target. And, well, you could shoot the lane down. We don't want you to shoot the lane down. Front sight on where you want to hit, say the 7, and then you're going to either bring your backside up or down so all 3 dots are in a perfect line. Okay? You want all 3 dots in a line with that front sight directly in the center. All right? Oh, real quick too. Compact, do not go further out than 7 yards because it's not going to work. My belief is if you're not proficient at 5 yards, don't go any further out. So I would set your target up at 5 yards, and I'll show you how to do that. There's a toggle switch behind me. So now, trigger. Let me set this down. You want your trigger, since you guys are right-handed, you want your trigger in the center of your first part of your trigger finger. All right? Got it right there. But you also want to make sure that your knuckle is out, and the reason for that is if your knuckle's way out, when you pull, you're pulling straight back. If your knuckle's in, you have a tendency to go off to the side, and what that's going to do is that's going to turn your firearm, okay, left or right, okay. Another thing, grip. Grip is really important. You don't want a death grip because you don't want to just be squeezing because other hands, your hands are going to shake and you're going to get tired and you're going to hate this right off the bat. You want a firm grip. You want it like, think about walking your dog and there's a squirrel and you're holding your dog back. Just a nice firm grip on the firearm, because remember, it's going to kick. What you don't want to do, and think about this, you don't want to anticipate it because you're going to do this, all right? Or you might go up. Another reason it's going to cause you to dip down is that, let's see if we can do it this way. All right, so here's my finger. Okay, I've got my sight, I'm sighted in, I bring my trigger in, my finger in, and all I'm going to do is just squeeze very slowly. All right, fingers on the trigger, squeeze till you hear that. And just what some people do is they bring their trigger finger in like this. They just bring it in and pull the trigger. Okay, I'm sighted, bring the trigger in. And they pull it down. You don't want to do that. You want to take your time. All right, you're sighted. Finger on the trigger. Squeeze. And fire. Breathing is important. When you're breathing is also really important. You want to, as close as you can, you want to inhale, okay? And then you want to exhale and time your trigger pull so that at the bottom of your exhale, you're actually firing. Then you breathe in. Don't hold your breath. And here's the thing. You can set your firearm down any time you want. Because let's face it, it's sitting there right now. Nothing's going to happen to it. There's a round in the chamber. Safety's off. And unless somebody picks that firearm up, it's not going to choose to shoot. It's an inanimate object, all right? So remember that there's nothing to be afraid of. Just take your time and relax. And if you feel that you really don't want to do it, don't do it. Come back another time. Think about it. Reschedule your CCL class and do that. So that's basically it, okay? Do you guys have any questions about anything? Yeah, the rounds that you bought are really, these are range rounds, okay? Let's see. Hold on, let me pull. All right. So this is one of my magazines. There is a self-defense round. Unless you got a lot of money, you're not going to be shooting self-defense rounds at the range. I do tell people that when they first buy some self-defense rounds, make sure they cycle in the firearm you buy. But for right now, let's not worry about that. They'll worry about that in your CCL class, all right? So, got your box. I'm going to leave you my loader. Your shield here is loaded, ready to go. Safety's on. So when you get up there, just bring the safety down with your thumb. It's right-handed. And then you will be good to go. And sure you got no questions? All right, so remember sighting, trigger, and that's about it. All right, have fun. See ya. Oh, don't forget, I'll be walking around and you can grab me anytime. All right, so that's basically a very quick way to teach somebody how to shoot. You're just going to give them the basics. You know, some of the basics, and I wrote them down here. I mean, I mean, are you right-handed or left-handed? Do you know what eye are you dominant? Have you ever shot before? How's your grip strength? You know, you're going to go over. I always go over the firearm features, and talk about the firearm that they are renting, because they don't know. You know, new shooters aren't really sure. Maybe you're not sure about what you really want and what you're going to use it for. Every handgun, and just like rifles, are specific to the job that you want done. Do you want a range gun? Do you want a home self-defense gun? Do you want to carry? You know, not all of them won't, work for the same things. You want very specific, firearms for the job that needs to be done. It's no different than tires on a car or cars in general. You know, do you want something that goes really fast? Do you want something that plows through snow? I want to go over features, over the hold, over sighting. Sighting's so important. You know, it's just extremely important. Explain the loading. They're magazines. They're not, they're not clips. You know, how to do that. Trigger, how to operate the trigger, how fast to use the trigger, positioning, and bringing your trigger in after pull the trigger, or after you've sighted the firearm. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. Discuss grip. I talk about the breathing, which is important. Breaking your wrist up and down. I also talk about dry fire with some people if they've been into it. See, everybody's different. I mean, I do this for people that have shot 3 or 4 times, and I explain dry fire and breaking your wrist and stuff like that. So it constantly changes. We talk about the slide lock, cross thumbs. So important to talk about cross thumbs. Excuse me. I get so many people in the range. They're excited to bring their friends in who have never shot before, and they're watching them, and they've got the camera going and everything, and they don't look at their thumbs. It ends up to be my job, and I end up having to tell them about don't cross your thumbs. Setting your pistol down anytime you can do that. I'll talk to them about stance, the difference between isosceles and Weaver, and all that kind of stuff. And then ask them if they have any questions, and if not, tell them their firearm's loaded and it's good to go. And I'm always walking around. So these are the things that, range safety officers have to do with new people. And you probably, in the beginning of this, you went, they just got their FOID card, they're coming to the range for the first time, and next weekend they're getting their concealed carry card, or they're going for their concealed carry. Yes, it happens a lot. Matter of fact, it happens a whole heck of a lot. You'd be amazed. If you're helping people out, hopefully this video helps you out a little bit. New shooters or people that want to shoot, I hope this, kind of explains some of the things. Maybe I went too fast. Let me know. I can always redo it another time and go over slowly. But we've talked about stance, and we've talked about firearms. We've talked about different things. But hopefully you understand our job a little better, and hopefully this gets passed on to people that now, before they go to the range, they know a little bit more about the firearm. But what I'd really like to see is, before you go to the range the first time, you get some kind of a class, an 8-hour class, a 16-hour class, get a private lesson. Go with somebody that has shot before. And if you're taking somebody to the range, pay attention. Because everything in this video is what you have to do if you're bringing somebody to the range. These are the things you have to explain. 90% of that stuff that I just explained right now could be gone over at home with an unloaded firearm. That's the best way to do it. That's the way I did it with my wife. That's the way I did it with my son a long time ago. Explained everything at home. Then you get to the range, go over it all over again, and then let them fire. All right? I also suggest not going on the weekends, because the weekends are nuts. There's a lot of people there, and during the week, during the middle of the day, it's the best. Mornings, not right when the range opens, but maybe an hour or two after the range is over, because the regulars are come and gone, and then you have basically the whole range to yourself half the time. So don't be afraid to ask an RSO a question. That's what they're there for. That's what we get paid for. And if you need a little bit of instruction, we're more than happy to help with a little bit of instruction, because we've got, where I work, I've got 20 lanes to worry about, and there's a lot of people that need a lot of help with different things. So hopefully this video helped you out. Hopefully it will help you help other people out. That's really one of the real key things, you know, because it's our responsibility to teach other people about firearm safety, get them involved with firearms so that they're not scared of firearms, especially kids. Kids have a great curiosity. Our range, you can bring your kids in at 7, as long as they're 48 inches tall and 7 years of age. And we like having parents and grandparents bring their kids and grandkids in and teach them firearms and teach them safety, get rid of that curiosity. And also, if they find a firearm, they know what to do or what not to do. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video. We appreciate it. Subscribers, thank you very much. Please pass this along and have other people in your family subscribe, and your friends subscribe, and your enemies and frenemies subscribe. We appreciate that. If you're new to shooting, hopefully this helped. And watch it several times and learn, and then have fun at the range. All right, hopefully range prices will come down, especially ammo. So thank you very much. Rich with Prep U. Y'all have a good time.